Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Erica, and today I'm going to be talking about Teal Swan. I actually had a video on my channel about Teal Swan earlier in my YouTube career, which was last year. Actually, it wasn't super long ago, but I mean, I would like to think I've gotten better at editing, hopefully, and just being on camera and me being, just being comfortable with the whole thing and learning new things. But if you don't know who Teal Swan is, she is basically this type guru. She claims to be a clairvoyant, and she claims to be able to read people's minds and just read people in a way, and she's very problematic. Now, recently, a docuseries came out on Freeform, which, if you're like the same age as me, you probably know Freeform as ABC Family, but it's a docuseries that was released on Freeform, but it's also on Hulu, because I mean, I don't have cable, so I'm personally watching it on Hulu. So if you don't have cable, you could watch it on Hulu if you have Hulu, but if not, it is on Freeform, and it's really like giving a deep dive into the world of Teal Swan. And now I learned a few things from this docuseries so far. So far there have only been 3 segments released. I believe there are going to be 5, but don't quote me on that because I'm probably wrong. But anyway, so in the docuseries, it's really delving into how Teal has been reckless with how she's targeted vulnerable people. If you don't know much about Teal Swan, then this is a giant rabbit hole that you can just dive on into, because there's a lot there that can be discussed. I'm not gonna discuss everything in this video, but I will discuss some of what was covered in the docuseries and some of my opinion. Maybe at some point I'll make like a full deep dive into the world of Teal Swan, but this is not that video. But one of the things that really struck me from this docuseries was that she has this friend named Blake, who's actually her ex-husband, but she seems to have a really close relationship with him, like they've stayed friends, and even at one point in the docuseries, she calls him her family. But my problem is that Blake started dating this new woman, and he even married her, and her name is Juliana. And now both Blake and Teal have said that if any woman that Blake is involved with disagrees with Teal's teachings or just disagrees with Teal, then it's not going to work. It's either Teal or the other woman. It can't be both. Now that's very toxic, to make people choose between one or the other. And also, when Juliana disagreed with the way Teal handled a situation that dealt with somebody who was struggling with S-word ideation, when Juliana disagreed with Teal, Teal was like, well, we're gonna have an issue now. Now you've gone against me. And that's extremely problematic because, sorry, I just got off the treadmill.
That doesn't work that way.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You literally just crossed the line. Now we have problems.
So, I'm hot and coughing a little. I'm fine. But anyway, that's so problematic because people should be allowed to disagree with you. Teal, you're not the all-knowing one that you make yourself out to be. And if you think you're that wonderful, you're really harming other people and making it like you're above everybody else, which creates a power imbalance. And now another thing that I found troublesome was that Teal admitted that oftentimes she'll have people when they want to like join her community, she'll have people cut off their friends and family members, especially if they disagree with Teal's teachings or if they like question anything. And if you know anything about toxic relationships, and now I'm gonna use the word toxic instead of the ABUSE word because YouTube is not a fan of that word, so just know that when I say toxic, I don't just mean like kind of a negative dynamic, I mean like serious. But that mirrors a toxic relationship because oftentimes toxic AB users will isolate their victim, I guess, from their friends and family so that they can have full control over this person's life, and that so the friends and family will not intervene. That just really struck me as a major red flag. I was like, well, that's not good. Whoa. But another thing is that Teal has no qualifications to be a mental health practitioner, and now Teal openly criticizes like the psychiatry and psychology industry, and that's fine to like have alternative views, but she's practicing on people and targeting vulnerable people who are struggling with the S-word ideation and people who are in vulnerable places in their lives, and she is claiming to have the cure and all the answers, and if you just follow Teal, everything will be better. Which, if you've ever been at a vulnerable point in your life, you probably know how susceptible you are to those types of things because you just want something to make things better. And if Teal is claiming that she has that answer, people are gonna follow her. So I think she's very dangerous in that way because she knows just how to manipulate people. And now another thing that I found concerning, since I do talk a lot about misogyny and different types of social issues on my channel, is that Teal, to counter some of her critics, she said that people just don't like her because she is a woman with an opinion. And now I would like to push back against that, because, and I'm not going to deny that there are probably some pieces of shit out there that say misogynistic things about Teal and use misogynistic arguments. But my issue with Teal is that she's preying on vulnerable people. She knows how to use tags on YouTube, like things people who are in a vulnerable place will type in Google search bar so that her videos will pop up. And also, she's someone who is very much, it's my way or the highway. And whether you are a man or a woman or non-binary or whoever you are, that is just a very toxic way to be. And I think it's really unfair for her to try to paint all of her critics as misogynistic, because that is it is deflection. Because instead of looking at their actual criticisms and trying to like learn from that, Teal just kind of washes it all away as like, oh, these are just haters, these are just misogynists. I am someone who will defend people that I don't even agree with, people that I don't even like. I will defend them against misogyny, because no matter what, at the end of the day, misogyny is never justified. So I take that very seriously, and I think that Teal is trivializing misogyny by using that argument and not even entertaining arguments against her. And now another thing I found in the docuseries was then this one guy was pushing back against something she was saying and being like, well, I don't trust you because you don't have anybody overseeing you to like call you out on your shit. And then she was like, well, then would you not follow the fastest runner in the world because they have nobody who's better than them teaching them? And now that is a terrible metaphor, because there's a big difference between somebody who's going to help you with your mental health issues and give you these self-help solutions than somebody who's gonna teach you how to run fast. There's a reason why people who want to become therapists and counselors have to go through a ton of schooling. And that's because they don't just want any asshole on the street to be able to help you and be like, oh, you're depressed, just put a smile on your face. Like, are you, like, it just doesn't make sense to me why she would even try to compare those two things. And I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts on that docuseries out. I would recommend you watch that docuseries. I would also recommend you listen to the podcast called The Gateway. I think it is by Gizmodo, and that is also a very good deep dive into the world of Teal Swan, because again, this video barely even scratches the surface. There's a whole rabbit hole with like the satanic panic and hypnotherapy and all of that. So I would definitely recommend looking into those things and then doing your own research. But these were my thoughts, And if you enjoyed, but if you found this video interesting, or if it made you think, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not already and you would like to see more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and please feel free to leave your thoughts down below, because I'm definitely interested in hearing it, especially if you watched the docuseries, but even if you didn't, because there are definitely points of it that I didn't go over, and so feel free to like add in the things that stuck with you from the docuseries. And if you have not already and you would like to see more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. The sun is going down, it's gonna rain, so I have to stop recording. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.